Welcome back to Seasoned Liberally. Today we're going to make a Japanese-inspired rice and egg breakfast. A little twist. It's going to be great. Stick around. Okay, so I'm going to make for you today Tamago, Kake, Gohan. No idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't speak Japanese. The idea is that you take rice, crack a raw egg in it, and then mix that up and then add some additives. That's really the entire dish. It's very easy to make, really filling, wonderful breakfast. I really like to have this, try to have it like once a week. Now my particular spin on this is I'm actually going to take, I have this, this cacciatore salami, and my local grocer has this, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into matchsticks, and then I'm going to fry it up, and I'm going to add this. Now you can do bacon, you can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, a really wonderful thing inside would be the everything bagel seasoning that they have nowadays. Would taste wonderful in this. Lots of different, tons of flavorings that you can put inside of this, but mine's going to have this fried up salami, so that's what we're going to put in mine. Now, to make matchsticks, what I do is I slice long ways as best I can along the salami here, and then I take and slice to make little matchsticks. And there you have nice little fun matchsticks that'll, I'm going to fry up here. Now, possible just to add this directly in, right? I could add it in raw, but when you crisp up salami in a little bit of olive oil, it adds a nice layer of flavor. You're browning it, and it adds a nice flavor to it. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to a hot pan, and then add in my salami. Now I got quite a bit here. I'm going to save some, reserve some for later. I'm not going to put all this in one. Now this has just got to fry up. And that's going to release some of its oils, but it needs to have a little bit of something to get it started, because there really isn't any like really fatty deposits that can melt very quickly on this and create enough oil to actually render the rest of the fat off of it. So we're going to let this cook for a few minutes in this olive oil, and it'll render off some of that fat. Okay, so you can see it's starting to render, and it's also starting to turn a little golden brown. We want to get it so it's nice and golden brown before it comes out. And as you can see, it rendered off more fat, right? There's more fat that rendered off in here. Okay, that's starting to look good. I'm going to pull it out of here and just let it sit on a paper towel. Drain a little bit. So I have some rice that I cooked last night. This is cold rice. It's a cup and a third, thereabouts. That's about the right amount for an egg. Between a cup and a third for the egg, that's kind of right where you want to be. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow, I really should add 2 eggs to this. Don't. You don't want to do that. It's going to turn into a soupy mess, and you're going to have to add a whole bunch more rice. It just doesn't work out. You just want to try to keep the measurements about right here. So about a cup and a third of rice. I'm going to put this in. This is brown rice. I cooked this last night. I'm going to put this in the microwave. You know, this works great with rice that you get from a takeout. So like very often, if you order Chinese or you order Indian, they'll be served with some type of rice. If you don't eat all that rice, you could always make this the next morning if you have enough rice. So I'm going to put this in the microwave, let it get nice and hot, and then we're going to start constructing the dish. So in order to construct this, what you need, a couple of things. You're going to need a bigger bowl than what you're going to serve it in. The bowl you're going to serve it in is going to be too small to stir it up. Now, traditionally they would use chopsticks to stir it, but I'm going to use a fork because I am not terribly good with chopsticks. I'm adequate with chopsticks, but not terribly good with them, so I'm going to use a fork. A room temperature egg. Now, if you're afraid of eating raw eggs, you can always make it pasteurized. Get a pasteurized egg. They sell them at the supermarket now. Or you could coddle this egg, which would mean bringing it up to temperature about maybe 140 degrees. You could do that in a sous vide and crack it directly into this, or you could, cook it on very low heat for maybe a minute or two. After the water comes to a boil, that'll cook it most of the way. At least get any of the pathogens that might be in an egg to be dead, so that you won't get sick. You can get sick from eating raw eggs, so do it at your own peril. You can also add a raw yolk to this, so not only add a whole egg, but you can add a raw yolk to this as well. For additives, I'm going to put in mine a little bit of toasted sesame oil. I'm going to be using some light soy sauce and some sesame seeds as well. So let's see. Get our rice out. You can tell it's nice and hot because it is smoking. So in goes the rice. I'm going to break it up a little. And now add the egg in and just start whipping the hell out of it. Now it's key to break up all the pieces and keep stirring. The key is trying to whip a little bit of air into this. All right, it's got a nice whip texture to it. I'm going to add a little touch of this oil, a splash of this soy sauce, some of these sesame seeds, and I'm going to give it a stir. All right, now I'm going to put it back in the bowl that I just got out of the microwave. Across the top, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of my fried salami. All right, that's my dish. Let's give it a shot. Oh, man. I love this so much. The salami tastes very different than bacon, but also in some ways very similar, right? It's salty, it's got that pork flavor, but then it's got a couple of additives in there, right? When you have salami, there's a couple of different additives in there. I give it a different flavor, a very rich flavor. That olive oil also helps that too. The toasted sesame oil in here gives it so much body and so much creaminess. Really delicious. I'm a huge fan. I know there's a million ways to make this, so let me know how you make it in the comments below. Thanks for coming by today. Hope you like, share, subscribe. Remember, I'm just trying to do this to see if there's any interest in this, so the more you like and the more you comment, the more you share this stuff, the more I see there's an interest and the more I will continue to create these videos. So thank you again for watching, and we're going to catch you next time. Season liberally.